Warning: the Not Real Art podcast is intended for creative audiences only. The Not Real Art podcast celebrates creativity and creative culture worldwide. It contains material that is fresh, fun and inspiring and is not suitable for boring old art snobs. Now, let's get started and enjoy the show.
Greetings and salutations, my creative brothers and sisters. Welcome to the Not Real Art podcast, where we celebrate creative culture and the artists who make it. I'm your host, Sourdough, and I want to welcome you to our holiday special episode. But before we get into it, I need to clarify a few things and put in a few disclaimers. This special holiday episode is what I would call fast and loose. I'm warning you now, it's boys behaving badly due to excessive amounts of holiday cheer. As you'll hear coming up, the one and only ManOne, my partner in crime, is back in the studio momentarily from his long-term assignment to help us celebrate. It's great to have him back. Felt more like home this time to have him in the studio. But what really made this holiday episode special was that we were joined by our good friends over at the Paint the Town podcast, James and Teachr, who we just love to chop it up with. These guys are a ton of fun. We were on their podcast earlier in the summer. We wanted to return the favor, and we thought it'd be great to have them on to celebrate this crazy holiday time and talk about the exciting new year ahead. And I got to admit, this one's a little bit crazy. We had to use Zoom, which, isn't always great for audio, but somehow we managed to laugh our asses off. We had a lot of fun. We even got into some heavy stuff too. So we were kind of all over the place. But as you'll hear, we had a lot of fun making this one. And, maybe if we get lucky, you'll have fun too. You'll laugh a few times, I hope. But before we get into this crazy holiday special episode, I just want to thank you for tuning in yet again. We do this for you. We're here for you. Without you, this would all be in vain. So thanks for tuning in. Please like and share this episode and subscribe if you haven't. We always have world-class people on the show, creatives, artists, designers, experts in their fields who share their invaluable experience and advice. So you definitely don't want to miss out. When you subscribe, you get alerts when new episodes drop every Tuesday. Also, of course, go to our website, notrealart.com, to sign up for our newsletter to stay informed of all the cool stuff we do for artists and art lovers here at Not Real Art. By visiting our website, you get, access to cool free educational videos. You can apply for our 2021 artist grant. You can even buy affordable original contemporary art through our partnership with Sugar Press. And you can even support us on Patreon, which we would very much appreciate. Yeah, man. So this was crazy. Do I sound like I'm hungover? I might be a little hungover. I don't know. Maybe I'm still drunk. But today's episode is definitely a special one. It's our holiday party. Lots of holiday cheer was involved. So we may have been over the legal limit for safely driving this podcast. But thankfully, everybody made it home safe and no bail was posted. I mean, truth is, we were all, in our homes anyway, phoning it in over the interwebs. But anyway, I think everybody woke up feeling pretty good this morning. So without further ado, welcome to the Not Real Art special holiday party episode. Let's go!
Greetings and salutations, my creative brothers and sisters. Welcome to the Not Real Art podcast holiday special. Boy, do we have a show for you. Not only is my partner in crime, the one and only ManOne, back in the house. I mean, this motherfucker's been on a project like all year. Like, I've had to be fucking holding the place down without him. And, that's been dangerous and scary. And I've been risking my life because I count on him, but he's back. ManOne, you're back in the house, brother.
Yeah, at least today I am. So, I'm literally back in the house.
In the new house, which we will get to. But man, it is so great to have you back in the studio with us. And I tell you what, who else is in the studio with us? This is our holiday special. As I was thinking about how we were going to celebrate this fucked up year, You know, we had to like look back on this year and decide, you know, like where were the bright spots? Where were the fun times? You know, because there weren't that many. They were few and far between. Right. So then I remembered, wait a minute, our boys from Paint the Town, like they were so generous to have us on. Like back in those like early summer or something, we had a blast with those guys. We were hanging, we were rapping, we were cutting up, we were chopping it up, we were just talking shit, talking smack. It was so fun. I thought, you know what? Nothing better to have Teachr and James in from the Paint the Town podcast back on our holiday special. Welcome, James and Teachr.
What up? What up?
Yeah.
Thank you guys for having us, man. Dude, this feels so awesome to be on somebody else's show. You know, because we do a normal show. It's like so awesome. It's like finally I don't have to drive, you know.
That's right.
And if it's screwed up, you can blame someone else.
Yes.
Dude, it's just great to be looking at people other than my family. You know what I mean? Like I love my wife, my kids and everything. But, you know, hey guys, thanks for having us on, man.
Hey man, you know, family's the other F word. Believe me, I feel your pain, brother. You know, I got 2 kids under 8. So, you know, it's good to be hanging out with some grown ass adults, although we're not very mature.
Man, that's a tough age that during quarantine, you know what I mean? Like, Teach, you got kids, right? And then they're around the same age as Sourdoughs, right?
Well, you know what? Mine are 10 years old, 10 and a third, actually.
A third.
When you're dealing with 2 and you're dealing with situations, you keep track of things differently.
Twins, basically.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, they're twins, but it's a boy and a girl. So there's a lot of different situations that are much more interesting, but in the dynamics and everything. But, you know, to have had them at 8 years old with the pandemic going on and all this crazy shit that's been happening this year, like we've already had problems with my son. My son was wanting to commit suicide at 10 years old. You know what I mean? And it was just because of the homeschooling, having to be on the computer instead of being in the classroom. And he was worried that, you know, he knows that school is very important to his mom and I and everything. And once we got it all out, and luckily he's very good with speaking up and everything. And we got it all figured out, got some therapists and everything. And now he's all good. You know what I mean? He was just, it was just that word. I mean, 10 years old.
How did you discover
the amount
that,
of stuff they're having to learn and everything is ridiculous.
How did you discover that though? I mean, like,
luckily his sister came and saw what he was looking at on the computer one day. He's very resourceful. He was looking up, you know, ways to commit suicide. And, you know, she saw that and she told the nanny, and the nanny came in the garage one day. She always comes in quietly after she knocks when some shit has gone down. I'm like, oh God, what now? And, you know, she told me, I was like, ooh, okay. You know, thank you. We're going to deal with this. Thank you. Went and told the wife and got right on top of it and got a hold of everybody that we needed to get a hold of, which was basically our school therapists. And they referred us to people. And we had them in front of another, you know, certified therapist within like 24 hours talking to him. And, you know, they're like, you know, he's not a high risk situation. But like I said, it was a stress thing. My son has processing disorder. He has a sensory processing disorder. And so, you know, he takes things a lot heavier, and if he doesn't know his schedule, he gets messed up. So this homeschooling thing has been something different almost every day, you know? And so he thought that if he didn't do good, that he was going to get in trouble, you know? And once he finally realized that, no, dude, look, you know, just survive right now. Okay, man. And try to be happy when you can, you know? And dude, just him being away from all of his friends and everything has been horrible. You know, I can't imagine what it'd have been like at 8 years old. What's it been like for you, dude?
Damn, man, you just went deep. I mean, real quick.
Yeah, man, dude.
Man, they have us on.
This
for
was
a good
supposed
time,
to be
man.
a party, man. I didn't, you know.
We'll get there.
Woo.
Yeah, before you party, you gotta.
Suddenly, my holiday Santa hat seems really inappropriate.
Oh no, dude, we're all good now. He's actually better now than he was before. That's the good thing about it. I wouldn't bring this up if there wasn't like a lot of
I know.
It's like, no, you know what? Hold on, I gotta go. I think
It's a Christmas miracle, man.
No, man. He's,
you know, but no,
he's 10 times better now just because being able to speak up and say something.
Yeah.
Well, Teach, that's real. Honestly, I'm surprised you shared that, and that's awesome that you shared it because.
Well, you know, I've realized that as time goes by, man, you know, to be able to share stuff like that, especially after we did the dual diagnosis, you know, episode.
Yeah, we recently did.
It's got to be okay to talk about stuff like this. People can't be freaked out by it.
Yeah,
and
that's
not wanna
right.
Talk about
That's right.
it, you know?
That's right. That's right. There's no shame, man. I mean, you got to talk about it, and that's the problem. I mean, like for example, right? Like my kids are adopted, and like one of the things that we learn or that they've learned in the adoption community over the last 40 years. Because like back in the day, right, adoption was like almost like a shameful thing. You didn't want to talk about it. It was like, it kept secret. And then they realized
what's better, you can't have your own kids, some shit like that, right?
Well, it's just super unhealthy for everybody that you're going to act like the shit didn't happen. You know what I mean? Like it happened and it's real and it's better for everyone and way healthier for everyone.
Why was it like a don't tell him until he's at a certain age kind of thing? Like, I'm just saying, like,
that's just how it was.
Like it seems so weird. Like, like, why would you just hold that as a secret? Yeah. But yeah, anyways, times have changed definitely on how we view things, man. But
we've all had our family shit this year, man. I mean,
how old were your kids when you adopted them?
Oh, they were brand new, man. They were right out of the oven.
Nice.
Oh, that helps.
Yeah, we got lucky. Yeah, we chose to do it that way. I mean, obviously, we're not, we're not saints. We were saints, like we wouldn't give a shit, but because there's a lot of kids that need to be adopted, that are 8, 10, 12, 13, 15 years old that, what are going to happen to these kids? But for us in our situation, we just wanted newborn babies and we were able to do that. And, and so we were, we avoided a lot of issues.
Places a little bit more of the blame on you, I guess, when you're
100%, man.
But the good thing about that, though, is, if worst comes to worst, you can always say, hey, you know what? Kid wasn't ours anyway. I can't say that,
Yeah, but I already have. I'm laughing because it's true.
Yeah, if it's your own kids, it's just like your own fucked up genetics, man. You know what I mean? It's like it's just sometime you're partially your fault for sure, right?
Man, what are you thinking about all this?
Oh, man. Kids? Yeah, and we went through our own issues with one of my sons in terms of a similar situation, but maybe worse situation that I probably still can't talk about.
Dude, don't feel about, just because I'm bringing it up, don't feel like you need to. You know what I mean?
No, well, I mean, there's a little more complicated situation, but the thing about, this whole being at home, it takes a toll on mental health. It's real. It's real, So
being social, man, it's a human thing.
Yeah. So, I think all of us in my family have gone through that. Like we're actually in family therapy right now.
Good. Amen to that, man.
That's awesome.
We've never done that before, but because of the issues that happened this year, we decided to do it, and it's great. So
how does that work? You guys meet like once a week or once a month? How does that work?
It's once a week. It's like 45 minutes, an hour. And we're doing it like this. So it's like a podcast, except with the therapist on your side.
Yeah, no, I mean, you know what?
That's what my kid was doing, with a therapist on the TV or whatever. It got a little out of hand at one point because we couldn't get our computer to work. So we were having to use the phone. And so my son's sitting there, I want to hold it. Okay. And so he's just like flipping it around and everything. So this poor lady's like, whoa, because she's all used to, like we were holding it and everything was all nice and calm and still. And, didn't want to, disrespect my son. He wants to help out too. But then when it started flipping around like that, I was like, hey, son, come on, hey, hold it still. Okay. I'll hold it still. And for some reason, he didn't like that. And he started giving me like this shit look and everything, getting all like, oh, man, we going to fuck with me, Dad? I'm like going, okay, no, not while we're on with the therapist. Now's not the time to have a meltdown, dude. If you want,
No, that is the perfect time to have a meltdown. In fact,
if you want them to come take you, son, and go have
as a kid, that's in your mind.
Then go ahead and have that meltdown right now. Like that's what I wanted to say to him. But I was just like, come on, son. The poor lady, you're flipping her around right now. Okay, you got to hold it still. Okay, just try to hold it still. All right.
So just letting everybody know, our podcast is not about family therapy or
apparently it is.
James,
items
he doesn't have much to add
that we're talking about because
what does he say? Hey, this isn't what we're always all about,
I'm just letting the audience know. I'm just saying that, like, first of all, keeping it happy, but I'm just saying, like, we're not really talking on our podcast. It's called Paint the Town Podcast, man. It's although we do do touch on these topics, man. Like, these aren't the main topics.
We're not afraid to go anywhere.
Yeah,
we're not afraid to go anywhere.
Well, this is how we kind of say our show is, man. At the end of the day, Teachr is, famous street artist from Los Angeles, man, and I'm not so famous DJ from Los Angeles, dude. So that's the podcast, man. And you pretty much
I'm just famous to certain people.
Exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, I think fame is definitely overrated these days, man. Like, I don't know if this is a sour grape situation, but I'm just saying it's kind of better to not have to deal with all the crap that these
listen. I mean, far as I'm concerned, anonymity is the new black. You can keep the fame. Give me the fucking fortune. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a lot of these fuckers that think that fame equals fortune. You're wrong.
These influencers, man. I mean, I was just in Vegas over the weekend, and at the end of the day, you're like trading.
This is what I'm talking about. He was in Vegas.
I was DJing a party, yeah, but
you don't look like you have COVID.
Well, before I get to that, I'm saying that these influencers, man, they basically everybody trades like posts for money or services or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
Then your whole fucking world is like in your cell phone, like all day on Instagram, who you're talking to people on DMs. It's like not really my thing, man. But at the end of the day, I'm just saying that, you know, in Vegas right now, it's pretty crazy because it's definitely a lot more free than LA is. And I live in OC, Orange County, and Orange County is a little bit more open than LA is. If I drive into LA right now, it looks like a fucking war zone, man. Like, it's pretty crazy right now, man. I don't know about what area you guys are in right now, but depending on what area you go to, you know, it just looks so crazy.
Well, a breaking news story here. ManOne, the son of the City of Angels, has also left the party and has moved out to the fucking boonies. He's calling in today from his new home out in where? BFE? Where are you, ManOne?
I didn't know we were releasing my information today. Yeah. I'm not even...
Okay. An undisclosed location.
Undisclosed location.
Yes.
Is it out of state, though?
No.
Okay.
He at least stayed in Cali.
Okay. But I'm just saying the amount of friends I've had that are moving or have moved out of Los Angeles is so crazy, man. It's like if you don't have a family, you're pretty much moving out of Los Angeles because it's like there's nothing for you to fucking do here, man. Like you might as well just go to Vegas where there's some sense of normality, actually. And
and get COVID. That's awesome.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying that I think there's still precautions. People are still taking precautions in Nevada. You know, they're still testing and, you know, it's crazy. I went to a restaurant and they allow limited seating, but you have to get your face scanned that you have a mask on before they allow service to you, basically. That's a fucking new thing, right? We don't have that in LA yet, you know, but that's coming. Just letting you guys know. No.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You know what? Here's what would make the whole dining thing safe for whoever wants to go and do that. Okay. It's very simple facial apparatus, basically. Okay. You basically wear the acrylic mask that you can see through, you know, that attaches to your headband right up here. That comes all the way down to here. Okay. It's enough room to bring the food up under and chew. Okay. And it comes around the side. So like nothing's going to come in, you know, the sides.
I don't know, man. I'm a fan of putting the mask on in between bites, man. That's what the governor told us to do, right? They said, take your mask down, take a bite.
Here's what a lot of people don't realize,
right? Is that what he said to do?
Are connected to your sinuses. Okay. From what I've heard, and that, you know, your sinuses.
I thought they were connected to my knee bone. I'm sorry. I clearly was wrong. Okay. Sorry, Teach. Go ahead.
My point being, if something goes in, if you're wearing a mask, great. But if something goes in your eye and then goes right down into your nasal, you know, system from your eye, you're screwed.
You know what I've been saying they should have? They should have a website where you can see all the hospitals, the number of beds at those hospitals for ICU. Teach just put on a fucking.
For the listeners who can't see what we see, Teach just put on the best COVID mask that I've seen to date. This thing is wired for sound here.
Too.
This thing is.
What is that?
Man.
Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you. I don't know if it's okay or not. But I tell you what, if COVID saw that mask, COVID would run the other way.
Well, what I do is I put my handkerchief. There it is. Hold on. Usually I have this, you know, on my face under here or whatever. And so it's, you know,
yes,
tight.
Yes. Yeah, man.
You know what, James?
Superhero shit right there.
You remember the show we did with those guys that tell us shit about whatever. I don't even remember the name. What?
We've done 129 episodes now, right?
We interviewed these guys. I don't even remember.
And then there was a brand that came on.
What their name was or anything.
Well, their name was this. It was.
What is that? 463 or something?
Yeah, 463. What do you think that means?
Yeah. 463. Well, if I knew, I'd have to kill you. No, I
Right.
Yeah, no. The point is like, so obviously, you want to come on our show, you send us some merch, and then we're gonna ask you that question, right?
Yeah, right. Of
obviously
course,
it's gonna come up,
of
right?
course, yeah.
And then this guy
That's the
would
whole
basically be like, that's an interesting question, man. And
They would just dance around. They never.
Can I get it? He had an assistant, another guy that was in a mask, and he's like, you know what? Hold on 1 second. Can I get a Coke? And then by the end of the fucking episode, when we wanted to tap out, he had like 20 drinks representing like the amount of questions we had asked him, and 0 questions answered. You know what I mean? So
you gotta work on your screening, bro.
The thing is,
at
like,
one point it disconnected accidentally. And, James and I were talking to each other, and then he was like, man, fuck this. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, fuck these guys, man. And then I was like, no, you know what? Wait a second. That's not fair. This is part of this guy's thing. We got to play along. This is not that hard. So what I did is I started talking about other artists. I'm like, hey, you guys ever heard of this guy? He's awesome. And it's like, if you want to play that game,
Smart.
I know how to, help other people.
And I just started.
That was some jujitsu. That was some jujitsu shit right there, right there.
And I just started talking shit to the guy too. I was just like, Jesus Christ, man, you guys are like.
Well, it turns out performance artists aren't so great for podcasts.
You know what though?
Mimes aren't so great for podcasts, actually.
I appreciated these guys' effort though. They were consistent.
Marceau wasn't a good guess, man.
They were consistent in what they did. They held to it all the way through to the end. And James sent me this one graphic for it. He's going to put the worst podcast. And I'm like, no. We don't want to give them that glory. You know what I mean? They're going to take that and they're going to make a big old paster out of it and paste out all over town. We're going to be hyping them up if we do that. I'm like, no, we're going to make this just like it's any other podcast, So did this fall into that, lost episodes category?
No,
that never,
the thing is, like, I actually edited it.
The fact that I couldn't remember what the fuck these guys
one.
are called or anything or whatever, I should give you an indication.
Like I said, they wouldn't tell us the name of the brand because it's all about what it means to you. You know what I mean? And it just goes to show you, like, kids these days, they want to wear stuff that they don't know what the fuck it means, but it looks cool to me, man. Like,
that's some cool gear.
I don't want to be like
nice jackets and stuff like that they're going to be selling, I guess. But
the thing is,
content. That's all they had was like that design and maybe one other thing. And that was it.
And I just felt like it's like, hey man, like I thought your brand was kind of cool looking. It's a little bit gothic, a little bit too at the beginning. But then after you guys told me about it more, I didn't want to wear your brand anymore. Man.
Yeah. In Texas, they call that all hat, no cattle.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, you know what I mean?
It's pretty poignant.
All show no go, basically, right? You know what I mean? So, like I said, but you know what? I edited it to be like an entertaining episode, and people responded to it in different ways. Some people were like, "Oh man, it's so funny." We're actually giving it way too much press right now.
Yeah, you guys are giving it a lot of love.
You know what? No one's gonna ever look these guys up because they're like, "What did they call it?" What?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even know what the fuck we're talking about right now. By the way, our listeners have totally turned it off right now. Like they're not even listening.
See this right here? Okay, yeah. Looks like
they're listening, man.
Right? Maybe wearing a little bow tie or something, right?
But the bulldog looks like he's wearing a poodle. Or a cat. Is that a cat?
It's a cat inside a dog.
A dog.
That's a little pussy. That's the little pussy that bulldog actually is. Okay? That's what it is most of the time. Okay. Whenever you see someone you think is that big bad, pit bull right there, they're just a little pussy. That's all they are. Okay.
So Teachr and Man are kind of like, I would say they're in the same like field, but they specialize in different things, right? You know what I mean?
Mediums.
Like mediums. Yeah.
ManOne is like awesome with hands-on, like the spray can and what that man can do on a wall.
I want to say this because it's come up because, for anybody who's been listening to the show for the last, many episodes, I have, of course, been telling our listeners that, ManOne has been on assignment because this motherfucker has been so busy all year that, he hasn't had time to co-host his own podcast, so I've had to fucking, like man the ship, which, okay, fine. We'll see if we could, live or die or whatever, but we managed to get through it. But man, you have been locked down on this killer project for RTI.
Did we talk about it?
Yeah, let's talk about it, man. Like, where are we at with it?
So I have a big mural that I just completed, and it's about 78 feet long and 14 feet tall. But I painted it on panels in my studio. And it was like a year in the making. So it was a very long project.
How big was each panel?
The larger panels were 10 feet by 6 feet. So they were like 10 by 6. And then there was like, there was different size panels, but those were the large ones.
It's like a mosaic.
Damn.
Yeah.
Man.
And so in my studio, I wasn't able to fit the entire mural. I didn't see the entire mural as one piece until we installed it, because I could only work on 30-foot sections at a time, But thankfully, this project—
That's got to be a little nerve-wracking, man. If it would have been for me, dude.
Yeah, if I would have messed it up a little bit, it could have been easy. But what was awesome about it was that right when I started painting the mural at the beginning of this year is when we went into lockdown. And, I lost like 90% of all my gigs at the beginning of this. But that one gig was perfect because I could spend all the time I wanted on it. It was in my studio. I was alone. I didn't have to be out in public or anything like that. So, man, that project carried me through the whole pandemic.
Can I ask you real quick,
summer?
Man?
Yeah.
Nice.
Do you draw it out first on a piece of paper and then put it out and then kind of like split it into the panels, or how do you do that?
Yeah, well, obviously this was I sketched the whole thing out and we went back and forth. Like last summer, I designed it and we went back and forth with the client till we got it right. So there was a lot of drawing.
How many times did you go back and forth, just out of curiosity, before you finally got the design?
Probably about 4 months.
I mean, about how many times did you go like, okay, how about this? Okay.
It was like my first concept was the concept, but then we just had to refine things. So then it was like, oh, this one character, can you change this around, And then I did maybe like 3 or 4 versions of that. And then like, oh, this part over here, can we change that? But it was fine.
But tell us about the company. Tell us about the company, because
well, let me tell you.
But tell us about the company, because I mean, they're an international company. They had to send you all over the world to like research like their facilities so that would inform your concept. So like, tell us about RTI.
Nice.
Yeah. So this company RTI, they do undersea cable. So, the cable goes out of their facility right off the beach, and the cable goes underwater, to Hawaii, to Guam, to Tokyo, to Australia. They literally connect the ocean. Under the ocean. Yeah.
They basically power the internet, right? Like, I mean, that's
power
what
the internet they're one of very few companies who do that.
It's amazing.
And yeah, so it's an incredible company. So when I started, I've already done I did one mural for them, like probably almost 2 years ago now. And, this, I don't know if I can share all the photos of it right now, but at some point, this is going to be the largest,
man.
It's the largest facility, the largest location of my work, like anywhere. Like I already have 3 gigantic murals inside this facility, and I'm still working on, and that's only half of the building. I'm still working on the other half. And it will never be seen in public because it's only for their tech guys or the companies that come and visit or whatever. It's a super dude,
that's okay. You'd be made. If I were you, to get in there with a camera doing a virtual tour so you can get online and be checking this shit out. Hell yeah.
Well, we'll probably do that at some point, but it's
I'm sure if ManOne needs some tickets to see his own mural for a VIP, they can hook that up, right?
They might hook it up, yeah. Yeah.
Well, but I guess what's so crazy though, right, is like the location has to be top secret, right? Because of all of the the connectivity, right? Because if anybody got in there and like sabotage a place, like the internet would go down like across the Pacific, right? Like it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those spots. It's literally hidden in plain sight, So
best place to be.
Yeah, and so it's pretty awesome. What's crazy is like for this particular mural, I was for research. Some other partners are from China, other partners are from Japan, and then obviously the LA connection. So this particular mural was going to cover those 3 bases. It was going to be like LA connecting to Hong Kong, to China, and to Japan. And so
you're supposed to incorporate all 3 into this mural, basically.
Yeah.
Oh God.
And so and so that was
there's gonna be some little details that they want adjusted. Yeah.
So that was my task. But they flew me out first class to Japan and Hong Kong last year, and I got to walk around and take photos and hang out at some awesome places and eat some awesome dinners. So
food in Asia.
Dude, I'm going to remember this in case I ever have like, a client coming up like that. We're like, you know what I need to do is I need to come see you. I need to come see you.
to take in some
So I mean,
it's called research. It's called research. Yeah.
I went
there. You go.
Yeah. So I mean, this has been like a dream client, dream project. So this project, like I think, literally saved my life. Like,
dude, it sounds like it. Holy cow!
During this whole pandemic, it was my only gig. It was my only paycheck every month, and it got me through. But then beyond that, there was all kinds of other crazy stuff that happened. Personal stuff and family stuff. And this kind of was the thing that helped me through all that, So it's been a really crazy thing. And we documented the whole thing. So there is going to be literally a 30-minute documentary on this whole production.
That's
so
awesome.
At some point, all that will be revealed. And
dude, like I said, a virtual tour, you know what I mean? Get in there when you're done with a camera so that you can just log online along with all this stuff you're talking about and say, hey, virtual tour of the piece. Right?
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
There'll be tons of stuff like that. But yeah, so that was my major project of the year. And
congratulations on that.
Yeah, it was awesome. Thank you. And you can't wait to share it. Hopefully in the next few months, we'll be able to launch it online so everyone can see the art and the video.
But then they're going to put you on a plane post-COVID, right? They're going to put you on a plane and fly you around, and you're supposed to do murals in their other facilities, right?
Yeah, so they have a facility in Guam that they want me to go paint. But this won't be an exterior mural. But of course, we're waiting for the COVID to die down.
Are you guys all getting the vaccine?
Hell yeah!
I'm gonna wait for the first guinea pigs to die, and then
you know what what's interesting. My brother's a doctor, and he's gonna get it on Monday, basically, because they're all like first priority, or they have to, or whatever.
Yeah.
So, and then I have another cousin that's PA somewhere else. So I figure it's similar genetics. I don't know. I need my music, man. I got to go back to concerts, man. This is
yeah, exactly. Well, my thing is that I'm pretty convinced that the fact that I'm officially pickled in whiskey has been the best, kind of defense against the virus. So
toxic detox.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a pickleback when you take a shot of whiskey? Like a pickleback chaser?
No, I have not. This sounds like
it's actually really, really good because the vinegar and sugar actually cut the burn from the whiskey.
Wow.
So, it's actually, you wouldn't think it would be like a good chaser, but try it, man. It's called the pickleback, man.
Pickleback. I'll check it out.
Try it, man. Just take some of that pickle juice, man. Seriously.
For sure.
The sweeter, the better.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, but listen, I'm a science guy. I'll be down to do the vaccine, when, I want the high risk first responders, high risk people, first responders, everybody that needs to get it needs to get it. I'll get it when I get it, but it's
we might end up getting it a little bit sooner than a lot of people, just because my wife has a German passport and so do my children. And so something through the old German government thing or whatever, we might end up getting our shots a little bit early.
Nice. Have you guys seen this meme? Okay, here you go. Let me see if you can pull this. All right. See, it says vaccine research and anti-vax research. Okay, vaccine research is a scientist, doing the pipette thing.
Yes.
Anti-vax research is a lady sitting on a toilet on her iPhone, basically.
With a tattoo on her thigh, right? Is that a tattoo? What is that?
No, that's her pants down.
Those are pants. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's big facts right here, man. Seriously, man. I'm just saying, look, at the end of the day, I think the worst thing I've heard right now is cerebral palsy for 4 people, right? Their face lost nerve or something like that.
Yeah, like Bell's palsy or something.
Bell's palsy, yeah.
That's cerebral palsy. Bell's palsy.
Yeah.
And that's temporary. That's actually temporary though.
Right.
A temporary condition. I mean,
yeah.
So
I'm hoping that one of the side effects is a prolonged boner. Because then
can we get a little mashup going with Viagra?
Then I could lay off I could lay off the weekender. You know what I mean?
Speaking of boners, man, dude, you know who I was partying with this weekend? I was partying with. Have you guys heard of Sophie Dee? I've never. See, we're not in the porn world, man. Okay, so.
Oh no, we're not in the porn world at all. I know what is porn anyway. I'm not.
No, I mean, like I said,
I've heard of it.
Never seen it.
No, anyways, my friend is dating her. She's a very famous porn star that's also kind of crossover and started doing movies and stuff like that. And then I was just partying with these people in Vegas. No, we all got COVID tests. You know, come on, they test really hard in the porn industry, you know, for everything. So they had an on-site COVID test before anybody could.
They do everything hard in the porn industry. Sorry.
You know what I mean? But no, I'm just saying that, you know, she's going to come on our podcast soon, man. No pun intended, actually, right?
Yeah.
But
just set it up like it's just.
So that's what I'm saying. Our podcast, like, we basically have, like, it started off being a street art podcast because obviously it teaches street artists, and we would have DJs on as well too. But it's, you know, it's called Paint the Town Podcast. We have whoever the fuck we want. You know, that's
what exactly are you painting the town with?
What? Well, you know what?
We're painting the town red.
As long as we
you know what I mean?
talk about it and see what they think about it, and if they don't know much about it, then we at least, you know, educate them about it.
Education.
You know, education.
You know,
I
have a weird story about the name of your podcast, because I used to do murals for Coca-Cola back in the 90s. And I was one of the first, like, graffiti artists that they were working with out here in LA. And for 10 years, I did murals for them all over the city, all over the country. They used to fly me everywhere to do murals.
Nice.
And they had this campaign that was called Paint the Town Red.
Of course.
And, and so it was actually a very cool project. They had high school students come up with designs, and then they judge all the entries, and the top 12 finalists would get a mural of their artwork created by me around town.
Nice.
And
nice.
like first place would get like $5,000 college money, and, like, you know, it was pretty cool.
Red for Coca-Cola.
You at least get like a percentage of that, you know, like maybe a little 15% kickback, you know, for the artist doing it, you know. Come on.
So here's the funny part, though.
Free Coke for life.
It was called Paint the Town Red. They started in New York, and they were doing it out there first, and then they came and did it in LA, and then they were doing it all over the country, kind of thing. And we had, you know, we'd do the mural. Well, I would do the mural, and then I would put the logo, the Coke mural, with Paint the Town. They had a Paint the Town Red logo, right? So one day I'm doing one of these murals, you know, right in the hood in South Central, and I start doing the mural, and before you know it, people are sticking their heads out the window, and they're like, "Hey, fuck red! You got to paint town blue."
I was about to say that right now. I was like,
damn,
red and blue neighborhood, man.
And I'm like,
the Crips be like,
yeah, and they were like, no, man, fuck that red shit. You got to put that blue shit up there. And I'm like, oh man, and I'm like, I'm just trying to.
You're like, it's actually an expression, okay? It's like painting the town red.
And so,
but dude, no, it don't matter, man.
It doesn't matter.
So I'm trying to paint as fast as I can and get the fuck out of there, right? I just hear them yelling, and they're starting to walk around and just getting more vocal. Luckily, some guy walked into the record shop behind me and pulled a gun on the owner and held him hostage for like 3 hours. And I say luckily because that's all
the excitement went to that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They forgot about me.
You were boring compared to that, right? Oh.
Another day.
My truck was parked right in front of my mural, and I was trying to sign it, and all this shit went down. All these cops showed up. So I'm hiding behind my truck, right? because there's cops with their guns pulled running away from the record shop. And the record shop is like 50 feet right across from me, right?
Ooh.
So I don't know what to do. So I'm sitting there, and I look over, and they got all swatted up and everything, and they get their machine guns, and they run towards me. And I'm like, oh, they're gonna come save me, right? And so they run towards me, and they use my truck as a shield, and they all jump up like this.
Oh, that's lovely.
And I'm looking at them like, what do I do? I don't know what to do, right? And so I look, and there's a cop way down the street around the corner, and he's just like waving me down, like, run.
Welcome to LA, man. Shit, man. This is like
run, right? So then I finally get behind I get to the cop, and the cop goes, get behind the police line, which is like 2 blocks down. Because he's like, you're in the line of fire. I'm like, yeah,
I know
I'm
shit.
in the fucking line of fire. So anyway, so I go down the street, right? And I'm down there, and there's choppers everywhere, and all this stuff. And of course,
one guy too, by the way, right?
Right. And so of course, people are coming out of the houses, and they're like, oh, that guy's already dead. This is all just bullshit. This is all just a show.
Exactly.
We already know the cops went in there and killed him. This is all just bullshit, And so I'm sitting there. I was there for 3 hours waiting for them to let me get back to my truck, And so while I'm waiting, I call my contact for Coke in New York, And she's like,
I'm sorry, that sounded funny.
No.
You mean Coca-Cola?
Coca-Cola.
Like, dude, that's not a good time to be calling for Coke. Yo, don't get me wrong, but
I was calling for the red stuff. And so I'm talking to my contact, and she's like, I can barely hear you. What the hell is going on? Like, it's so loud. I go, yeah, you hear that? I go, yeah, this, and I tell her what's going on, right? And she's like, what the fuck? I said, and by the way, I was right about to get shot because I'm painting the town red and I'm in a blue neighborhood. You know?
yeah.
And she goes,
the Democrat. God. It's a Republican color in a Democratic community.
She has no idea what I'm talking about. She's
oh,
like,
no. Yeah, that's what she's thinking,
Of course
right?
she doesn't know what you're talking about. Right.
She's like, what do you mean blue? What are you talking about, right? So after I explained to her, she understood. So the following year, the name of the project was called Art of Harmony.
Oh my God. There you go.
It went from Paint the Town Red to the Art of Harmony.
Art of Harmony.
Just curious.
You couldn't pick a worse name for that part, for any part of LA. I mean,
was this in the 90s, basically?
It's either red or blue, one or the other.
Yeah, this was about 95 around there.
Okay, man, that means tag banging was like very prevalent, man, during that period of time. So.
Oh no, I have that. Luckily, I didn't get tag banged. That was kind of 92 was really bad. 92, 93 was really bad with the tag banging. But
dude, you've got so many stories of your life being, held hostage by some gangbangers because you were doing some fucking commission shit, in the fucking zone that, wasn't yours,
Yeah.
You guys asked earlier, what do you paint the town with? Just letting you know, we also have a paint line coming out called Go Spray Paint, actually.
Whoa, okay. Tell us more. Okay, you're hearing it first, I hope.
We're gonna give ManOne some samples. You see, the thing is, like, this is actually made by, do you know who invented spray paint?
Who invented it?
Yeah. It's a gentleman named Edward Seymour, actually. I think he's since passed, actually, invented it in 1949. And
spray paint can, basically.
Yeah, the aerosol spray.
The aerosol can. He invented the aerosol can.
Yeah, so check this out. The company that invented spray paint is definitely the OG spray paint, right? So our company is actually manufactured by this company. So it's a private label from this company. So you see the Go paint right here, right? We can also turn it around.
OG.
Double sticker right there. OG spray paint, basically.
Nice.
You know what I mean? So we're going to be sent. Oh, there you go, Teach. Yeah.
Very clever.
So we're going to have those coming out. We're going to start off with 2 colors, just simple white and black. We want people get all fancy. I know that ManOne has a certain color palette. It's awesome, man, that he's known for, man. But we kind of want to just release 2 colors to kind of just give to a lot of people just to kind of see what people can do with a simple.
Well, that's how we're going to get started. I mean, everyone uses black and white.
Of course. Of course.
True.
Congratulations, guys. That's huge.
Yeah.
Fucking A, man.
Geez, we've been waiting for them to fucking finish this forever, man. Concept has been forever. Now we're just waiting for them to, I don't know. It takes forever to.
So I gotta put you on the spot because obviously, this is a very serious podcast. We want to get to the truth. We're trying to uncover we're journalists here at the end of the day. And so, we're trying to get to the facts here, the truth. And so obviously the brand is killer. The packaging is killer. So kudos on that. But from the technical specifications and what have you, what makes your paint special? Why should people use Go Paint, OG paint over any other brand?
You want to start with that?
OG of spray paint making made it, basically. It doesn't get much better than that.
There you go.
Well, and if you'll notice, I can actually show you this as I tell the listeners. If you'll notice the size of the cans, okay?
Yeah.
Size does matter, okay?
I was afraid of that.
So basically, it is 11 and a half ounces in your normal Montana can, okay? Whereas with us, you get 16 ounces. And
more for your money.
More for your money, and it's going to basically cost a little bit less at the same time.
It's going to cost less. You're going to get more.
The paint is going to be just as good, if not better.
And check this out. We're going to give all the artists that we think are cool. Obviously, they're going to have their own.
If your podcasts
code.
suck, you don't get any.
Yeah.
But we're going to give them a code. And then, if, for example, ManOne's code is going to be ManOne. Okay. If you type in ManOne's code at checkout, you get a rewards basically where ManOne gets some money to basically cash out or to get more paint. And then it's just going to be kind of like everybody's kind of building each other up. So
loyalty program. I love that.
Exactly. There you go. And everybody will have an opportunity to make money too. That's the thing. Hey, use my code and you can make money basically.
The airlines have frequent flyer programs. You're going to have a frequent tagger program. I love it.
Exactly.
Well, there's also going to be a space on each one of the cans to where each artist can have their own sticker that will go on the can. Okay. And, if people want to, they can peel it off, put it on something else. But most of the time, they'll leave it on there because it's, kind of like a collectible can.
Yeah, we'll do some like runs for different artists and things like that too, man. So, at the end of the day, it's real exciting. That's something that we have for 2021. But like I said, man, it's all about podcasting, man. I think podcasting is just like,
you know what? That is absolutely true. You were talking about earlier how working on that mural for you, ManOne, was kind of like a nice little break for you from the COVID and all the crazy shit going on. I've told James several times that I am so thankful that we have this podcast to focus on and to work on, because there's been times where I've come very close to calling James and saying, hey, dude, dude, there's so much shit going on here at the house. I can't handle doing the show today, or the two. We usually do like two at a time when we're doing them. But every single time I've gone ahead and just got on there. And as soon as we get going on the podcast, it's like all the other shit that's going on here just fades away. And it all becomes about what's right in front of me and who we're talking to and everything. And I mean, what we do is a very, noble thing as well. We're trying to help promote other artists. So there's a neuroplasticity that comes along with that makes you feel good as well. Not only mentally, but physically too. So
that's you as a host too. Imagine thinking about all the listeners that listen to you teach, and then us just kind of like hang out, and then it makes them feel better too. You're feeling better by like doing the podcast.
Yeah, but they're not getting the same thing out of it I am.
Exactly. Well, the thing is, like, a lot of people, they're in isolation these days. They're in quarantine, man. And I think, like, especially if you're by yourself, man, like hanging out on a podcast is kind of like hanging out with some old friends, man. And it's like, all of a sudden, it's like if you discover a new podcast and you vibe with this podcast, it's like, bam, you have 129, 130 hours of hanging out with these friends, man, at your own, time, man. It's like, I'm going to pause and just work on my stuff. If that's how it is for me, man, because it's like, I don't know.
I'm just so damn busy. I don't have time to listen to podcasts.
Yeah, but you guys talked about being on a hiatus earlier, and, obviously, 2020 COVID and shit. I mean, we took hiatus in the summer. It was just like, okay, like we're checking out for a while. And, we were back at it in the fall. But you guys have been sort of taking hiatus now. Like, so what's the plan moving forward? So, we
used to just do it whenever we had time. Man. Yeah. So we would do like 15 episodes a year. And then like this year, because of COVID, I mean, Teachr is a beast, man. Like, this is why this guy's my partner, man. He's like one of those guys that once we get in a routine and it's consistent, he knows what to do, and he's a machine. And we just cranked out.
Just keep my word and show up. That's
yeah,
all.
Exactly.
Right.
I mean, dude, in LA, in this town, that's fucking gold.
It's rare.
So, I mean, this year we did like 70 episodes, man. So it's really awesome because it's like, especially, when you see listeners from other countries, like they're like, oh man, you guys are like, they've been following along for a long time. It's like, oh man, you guys have been doing so many, I can't even keep up. For me, that's not a problem, man, because I, as a podcast lover myself, I love it when winter break come along. I got to hang out by myself as an artist. Everybody's back with their families, man. And like, I need some fucking podcasts to listen to so I don't go from fucking isolation crazy. You know what I mean? So it's like, if I have a stack of podcasts, like in my phone, man, I'm like, oh dude, hell yeah. I don't need to hang out with anybody, man.
So this is a good segue. Right?
I have time to be bored.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll live vicariously through him.
My 10-year-olds will be 18 someday. They'll be gone. I'll be the empty nester. They'll be like, what am I going to do today?
You know how the guys in the joint, they'll etch out the years, it's like, okay, I got 5 years. That's what I do in my bedpost for being a parent. It's like, I got 8 years in. I just got 11 more, 10 more years to go, they're till they're 18. I got 18 years in. No, man.
I got news for you guys, though.
It gets worse after that.
They're no longer leaving at 18.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like,
they're no longer leaving at 18.
And
then I'll leave. Then I'm out.
I got a 20-year-old and two 22-year-olds here. And they ain't going anywhere fast at all.
Dude, you know what? They don't even drive these days.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. Right? At least I'll be able to go somewhere and leave them here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You can check out. You can check out, but you can never leave.
Exactly.
Hotel California style, man.
That's right. But this is a good time to sort of reflect because we're at the end of 2020. We got a new year starting. Obviously, you guys have been on hiatus. We want to celebrate and honor the great work you guys have been doing. What can people expect from the Paint the Town podcast in 2021? What are the goals? Obviously, you're launching a new brand of paint. That's huge. You've got all kinds of other exciting things happening, I'm sure. So tell our listeners what's up for 2021 when it comes to Paint the Town.
We're going to say it right here, man. We're going to season premiere with fucking Sophie Dee, she's a former
Double D, in fact. Sophie
exactly.
Double D.
Dude, she has like 10 million followers, man, on Instagram, man. You know what I mean? So it's like, the cool thing is like, I didn't really know who she was. And it's like,
because you're not into porn.
I mean, here's the thing. I was like, there's two actors when I was 14. Yeah, no. I think it's like totally fascinating and exciting industry, man. If you think about it, there's so many things like I have questions about. But you know, when I was a kid, it's like, dude, the porn stars I was into, I think they're like a little bit older now. Like, you know what I mean? It's been so long since I like followed a porn star, man. And I was still in the generation.
It's kind of like sports, you know what I mean? I mean, I think there's a certain realm of it that's kind of okay.
Sport. Yeah,
but then I also think that there's a certain realm of it that is just horrible. So it depends on which realm you're talking about, you know?
I think,
I'm not really into the stuff. That's just,
I mean, I was more like, I had like magazines that like I borrowed from my friend when I was like in middle school. That was kind of like, so, okay, going back to, sorry. That was like my first exposure to like pornography. But going back to what we're doing on
my first exposure to pornography was the Sears catalog.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. He found some in the woods.
And then Victoria's Secrets came out.
No, that's why I was like, whoa.
Oh, you kept them in the woods. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought, people find porn in the woods too, right? That's what I hear, man. This is like, in the countryside. But anyways, next year, like, more street artists, more DJs, man, especially like, I've been trying to have a lot of street artists on and just have some more DJs kind of mix it up a little bit too. I have a friend who's a professional video game player. This guy makes like $250,000.
Fuck that guy. That's amazing. Yeah. God bless him.
I want to have that guy on. Okay. But he actually works for the corporation. He's not one of these Twitch guys. You know what I mean? So it's like he coaches the players, man. Like what the fuck? So like to me, I just want to explore these things that, like, ask him why, right? I know another guy, he's a professional poker player, like just lives around the world chasing summer. He lives like, just around the world where taxes are better and then just does his own thing, man. So on top of street artists,
we're going to keep doing what we've been doing and slowly expand like we've been doing.
What I love about you guys and your situation with the name, especially with the name Paint the Town, right? Because really what it is about, it's about people. Yes, because you're smart. With the name like Paint the Town, you want to feature people who are painting the town in their space, right? In their industry, in their realm of expertise. Because if you're an expert poker player, if you're a professional video game player, if you're a professional street artist, you're painting the town, man. You're living the life, because that's what painting the town is. Painting the town is living the life. And so your guests should be people who are living the life. They're living their fullest, best life, doing whatever it is that they love to do.
Yeah, and we're just
and to any degree. And what I was saying earlier is, if they're not actually technically an artist themselves that do paintings or whatever and paint the town, then we educate them. And then they help us reach their audience with this information.
I think the most brilliant thing I heard actually this whole season was from a guest called RX Skulls. He said that street art is like white noise. He said that basically it's like you don't notice it but once you notice it, you can't stop noticing it. So it's like street art is like one of these things for people who travel.
Yeah.
Wow, that's an old man reference.
When I was actually, that's a good point, because when I was in Tokyo last year, the guy that was showing me around, this guy showed a really cool Japanese guy, and we were seeing all the sites, and he was taking me wherever I wanted to go. Right, it was awesome. And every time we'd be walking together, like I would stop to take photos of graph or street art, whatever.
Yeah.
And he would look at me like, what the fuck are you doing? Like he didn't say anything. He just looked at me really oddly, like, and so finally, like throughout the night, it was like 2 a.m, we're walking around Tokyo. And finally I go back, hold on. And he goes, hold on. What are you taking a photo of? That's a garage. And I said, yeah, but it's tagged by all these guys. And he goes, is that what you've been doing all night? You're taking pictures of all the graffiti on these buildings? And I said, yeah. He goes, I didn't understand what the hell you were doing. And then I said, well, not only am I taking pictures of I know these guys. Like that guy's from New York. That other guy over there, he's from Germany. And he's like, wait, you can read that?
That's awesome, man.
And so after that, the whole rest of the trip, he would start looking at shit and be like, what's that say? What does that say? What is it?
Yeah, just opened his eyes, man. That's awesome.
That's how I felt too.
Wait. I just remembered something that I'd like for us to do as well, because these guys do it, and I think it's awesome, is to start a grant and, start sponsoring some artists through grants like these guys do. So you asked us that. What would you guys like to see from yourselves in 21?
Oh, man. Thank you for asking. Yeah, man, we are doing the grant again. We are doing the grant. I mean, go ahead, man. What were you going to say?
I was laughing because I don't want to answer that question, because last year we went on this fucking rant about what 2020 was going to be like.
2020 is my year.
and we were fucking wrong. Oh my God, on so many levels. Like, I don't want to say anything this year. I'm like,
it's okay to have hope.
Nope.
Yeah, well, but and that's a great point, because the one thing we were able to pull off in 2021 was the grant. And in fact, like that was such a huge deal. And there were some folks, I won't mention who, not ManOne, but there were some folks who were like, wow, maybe you should postpone the grant. I was like, hell no. I'm like, artists need the grant now more than ever.
Yeah.
And we pushed it through and we got it done, and we distributed the grants in March. And man, I tell you what, the love and the gratitude that came from that was just like overwhelming and beautiful. And I tell you what, so we're going to do it again in 2021. And, and so that is absolutely on. We did it in 2020. We can do it in 2021. And that's what we're going to do. So we know we're going to do that. Beyond that, we'll just pace ourselves. We'll see, what's going to happen. I don't want to get too cocky. We are working on
good way to look at it.
Yeah, we are working on some fun projects, but we'll see how it all plays out. But we just want to stay healthy. We want to stay happy. We want to keep the family safe, keep the family
staying optimistic.
That's it. We just got to keep. And by the way, the good news is, right, we got the fucking orange Cheeto out of the fucking White House. Fuck that guy.
Hey, I popped Dom Perignon on that fucking Saturday, yo. You know what I mean? I was like, what better occasion to pop fucking Dom Perignon than the day that Donald Trump, it was a Saturday. I'm not going to wait for the fucking electoral college, man. Fuck that, dude.
No,
on Saturday, I was like, dude, I'm fucking popping this bottle, man. Shit.
I got to be honest for a long time. Like, January 6th is another important day. And when I see all these people saying, oh, it's all taken care of, it's all done, it's all this, it's all that, I just keep getting just even more nerve-wracked, because if there were to be anyone that could still pull out some kind of fucking bullshit and fuck this up in some way, it would be this guy. You know what I mean? So I'm not relaxing. I'm not celebrating fully until the 20th of January.
Did you see him give the Medal of
Can't
Freedom
let my
to
guard
that one
down
guy?
until then. I'm hopeful. I think it's, I think we're going in the right direction with as far as maybe some part of this, but dude, what this is going to cause once dude is out of office and what he plans to do with his followers at that point is going to be interesting. That's what I'm afraid of.
Did you see him give the Medal of Freedom to that one old man, and then
the wrestler guy?
I don't know if he was a wrestler guy. He walked out on him.
Yeah, he was a wrestler.
Oh, he's a wrestler as well, too. And the guy was like, I don't know what happened, right?
Oh, because what happened is he said, oh, so I heard you were a wrestler back in the day, right? He's like, I could probably take you out or something like that, right? Because I'm bigger than you. And then the little guy told Trump, oh, no, not in a million years, I'd kick your ass, basically, he told him. And Trump didn't like it, so Trump walked out.
Oh. My thing was,
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
I didn't know that either. Yeah. That's fucking funny. He's like, dude, I've been in WWE, man. I got fucking Stone Cold stunned by Stone Cold, man. Okay. Yeah. I can take my shit. But the thing about Trump was I just noticed his body language. He's just kind of moseying around, you know what I mean? He's kind of just grasping at straws, you know what I mean? Kind of just he knows he lost. There's nothing he can do, man.
No, here's the deal. The reason why dude is still holding on and fighting on all this shit is because he's raising money. He's raising millions and millions and millions of dollars, and he's building his base to form a fucking network, most likely. You know what I mean?
Maybe Oprah?
This dude could easily start a network and make more just having a network than he ever has in his whole life. You know what I mean? All he needs is 20 million followers for $4 a month, and he's making 80 million a year.
He's gonna start OnlyFans, dude. the Trump OnlyFans, man. Shit.
The real tragedy for me is that, given the last 4 years, I no longer want to fuck Ivanka. Like, I mean, like, that's how bad it was. Like, that's how bad it's got. Like, I wouldn't fuck her now.
And Melania. That's so fucking funny.
I don't know, man. She's still pretty hot to me, man.
I just can't go there now. I mean, and by the way, I'm not even into blondes. I'm not even into blondes. I would have fucked her 4 years ago, and I'm not even into blondes. And I would have done it, and she would have liked it. But
I have extremely low standards, man. Damn, dude. You guys are married too. Like, I have families. Damn, dude.
I'm just saying,
why you guys are married, because you guys have high standards, and I have fucking extremely low standards.
Well, no, but here's the thing. I've been with black women so long now. White women are looking exotic. All right, so like that's really that's just the truth. But yeah, not
just get some VR goggles, man. Just get some VR goggles, man. Like, I'm telling you, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, the more I understand about, like I said, I was in Vegas over the weekend hanging out with like just people from that industry. You know what I mean? And it's a pretty crazy industry because it actually involves tech. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Like a bunch of like tech stuff going on, and it involves like manufacturing, because all those dildos needs molds and stuff like that, right? You know what I mean? That's all manufacturing, and it involves like just like local service, and it also involves like media. Like I said, it's a fascinating industry. If you have no shame, man, I mean, like, I'm just kidding.
Well, so have you? Okay, so this is a good plug, real quick, because if you haven't seen the movie Middleman with Luke Wilson,
okay,
you absolutely have to watch it. It's a true story. It's based on a true story. Homework. Okay, yeah, and it is about Luke Wilson plays the fixer, but basically it's about the two guys that came up with the technology to take credit cards online. Okay, and one of them was a NASA, truly a NASA like rocket scientist, and the other guy was just some like smart loser who couldn't hold a job down or whatever. But they were into porn or whatever, and they figured out a way. They were like, well, wait a minute, maybe we can like make money. And they were the guys that figured out how to actually accept credit card transactions securely to look at porn online. And this movie is about them. And of course they fuck it up. Like, they get into trouble and they get like all these crazy situations. Well, Luke Wilson plays this lawyer who, like, one of their investors was like, oh, you guys are fucking this up. I got to call in the fixer. I got to call in my guy. So Luke Wilson plays this lawyer who comes in to like save the day and fix their situation. It's based on a true story. You got to check it out. It's like a great, but part of what he talks about, he's like, you know what? He goes, the people in the porn industry, man, like, they're straight up, like they're honest, that they're transparent, like they're legit, like there's like a integrity there that he wasn't seeing.
I think that's integrity is too much to say, man.
Watch the movie. Watch the Middleman. With Luke Wilson.
86% like this movie on Google users, man. So yeah, I'll definitely have to check it out. I got some homework.
It's a true story for the most part, anyway, and it's a
Luke
good watch.
Wilson. Okay, no.
Luke Wilson. Yeah, he's great.
Okay,
Middleman.
2009 film. So
yeah,
nice. Okay, a little bit lower. 40% Rotten Tomatoes. But check it out. 85% like this on Google.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Dude, man, you can't trust the critics, man. Everybody has different fucking taste, man. You know what I mean? It's like, if you fucking listen to like the critics tell you what movie,
like trusting the pollsters.
Yeah, exactly, man. It's like, dude, man.
But James is clearly enamored with the industry. I just wanted to share that because James is like talking about like how, like, what a good time he had, and these people are so nice, and it's like I feel like we're gonna be seeing him. If nothing else, he may have a career as a fluffer in the future. I don't know. Like, what do you think, James?
Hey, like I said, they need background people. They need the prepper people, like you said, the fluffer, man. You know what I mean? Like, look, like, artists need jobs right now, man.
Hey,
DJs need jobs right now, man.
Just
like,
don't fuck with my fantasy, man. Just don't fuck because it's like my whole fear.
What is your fantasy, Sourdough?
Oh my god! You, I tell you what,
two chicks one time.
If I told you, I would have to kill you.
No, I mean,
but listen, I will tell you this, and then you guys, your time is valuable. I'll wrap up this holiday special because, by the way, this has been a special episode. You guys are fucking the best, and we love hanging out with you guys.
You guys don't talk about these topics normally, for sure.
But you asked me what my fantasy is, but I'm gonna flip the question just a little bit because this is the transparent, honest answer. And by the way, if you're not hip to this, you need to know about this. People need to know about this because if you put your anthropologist, sociologist hat on, this shit is trippy as hell. Okay, so the other day I'm on sex.com. Now, if you haven't checked
that a website? Yeah.
Sex.com. Yeah, check it out.
Okay. I'm going to check it out right now.
Sex.com. And I'm on there and I'm checking it out. Yeah, I pop in every once in a while.
Sex.com?
Sex.com. Yeah, no, not cum.
Very punny.
And I see this ad for this thing called Chatterbait. Okay. And I'm like, Chatterbait, that's like an interesting name. Like, what is that? So I click on Chatterbait and I go and it takes me to this site. And I'll tell you what.
I like James is following you along.
It is.
No, I already subscribed. I just noticed that we're 4 dudes talking about sex on a show, dude.
Hey, it's not real art. It's not real art.
I was like, we need like some chick to like balance this shit, or else we're just like some like 14-year-old boys like, hey, did you hear about sex.com, man? This is a site called Chatterbait. We can see naked chicks, man. It's all free too, man.
Wait. This is the first episode that we're officially drunk and high. So, we're talking about
tip your cam girls, man. Tip your cam girls.
You can hear all about it.
It's a lonely Christmas for these chicks, man.
Christmas episode.
Or a Christmas episode.
What's the way? I just see. I can't. There's too much on the screen for me. I got to close sex.com.
It is. Yeah.
It just seems like a bunch of ads coming at me of fucking vagina and ass, dude. I was like,
literally coming at you.
The
Right?
fleshlight. Yeah. Don't click.
I don't have my VR goggles on, man. Then it'll be like, you know what I mean. Masturbation's good for you. Use the fleshlight. I'm gonna get them as a sponsor for our show, man. If it's good enough for Rogan, man, it's good enough for me, man. You know what I mean? Like, I'm okay with that.
So, I don't want to spoil the goods here. I just encourage you guys to check out Chatterbait because it is, from an anthropological, sociological perspective, it is crazy. Who are these people that want to interact and chat?
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is the cam. Yeah. We had a cam.
It's a cam, right? But it's actually the gamification of masturbation. Right.
Yeah,
so literally people can, and the sex toys are Wi-Fi enabled. So the users can control the sex toys for the women or the guys that they're watching.
It's
or whatever,
crazy,
right?
man.
It's crazy.
You do some fucking Professor X shit, what I mean?
It's crazy. And it's like going, there are Russian girls and Indian girls, and there's like all over the world.
If you listen to our podcast, one of the episodes, we had a cam girl on our website, basically, too. And I always just say this, man, right now, OnlyFans, Chatterbait, Cam Soda, these sites, man, like you guys may have daughters, man. I'm just saying, like, I don't have kids, man. It's like, I'm just saying, how are you going, if they're making $50K a week off their fucking cam site thing, like, how are you going to justify telling them to go to college, guys? Solve that riddle for me. This is why I'm not having kids, man. Fuck that.
Turn that off. Turn that.
It's all about,
Put your clothes on. Pick up that book over there. Pick up that book. Pick it up and start reading.
It's like Chris Rock says, you know what? If your daughter's a stripper, you fucked up. All I'm trying to do is keep my girl off the pole.
In 2020, that is like not. We're supposed to like celebrate sex workers and like what they do, because what they do is a certain type of art, man. You know what I mean? Because it is hard.
Business in the world.
I always wonder, like, cooking should have been like before fucking girl set up. As a hooker. I always say, man, I think like a chef is probably the oldest profession in the world.
Well, but Missy Elliott said it best. There's no shame in the game. Just be ahead of the game. You don't be the nail, be the hammer. You know what I mean? Like, this is what we're talking about. So yeah. So, I'm raising on my daughter to be the hammer. What can I say?
That'll be her stage name. I'm kidding, man. I'm kidding.
The hammer.
Oh, dude, you guys are a fucking blast, man, dude.
You guys are great. Thank you so much for coming on. You
guys got to come back on next season for us too, man. Like,
right on. Let's keep it rolling, guys. Let's keep it rolling. This is great. And I tell you what, you guys have an awesome Christmas, holiday, whatever you celebrate. I don't know what you're into, but what are you guys doing over the next week? Like, what's happening? What are you doing? What's the plan?
I mean,
enjoying not homeschooling. That's for fucking sure.
New Year's is like my favorite holiday, man. So like, I just gear down.
You're gonna be in Vegas with the porn stars. We know what you're doing.
No. I'm just gonna gear down. Like, my friend is releasing some new music, man. So he's gonna have like kind of like a private listening party where we're gonna like do some psychedelics and just like get the full experience of the fucking music. You know what I mean? Because we need to hear it on ecstasy in order to appreciate like the fullness of the electronic dance music.
I love it. Enjoy, brother. Enjoy. Get those hugs, man. Get those hugs.
To be young and wifeless and childless.
Fucked up.
And ManOne's
an air high five from my other dad.
I know.
ManOne's moving into his new house. I mean, he's got the ultimate Christmas present. He's got a new house to move into.
Well, the only problem is I also have a new studio I'm moving into. So I've got 2 fucking moves that I have to make happen by the end of within 2 weeks. So
good luck with that. And I have some advice for you. You know those weight belts, the weight belt that they wear when they're doing squats at the gym.
Yeah,
get you one of those.
Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah, watch that lower back.
And you know what else? Those
That's my
fucking
point.
Depends, man. Depends are fucking good, dude. Okay, you can just shit in your pants, man. Like,
just a young guy with the old guy cracks, huh?
Oh man, I tell you what, guys. Happy holidays to you. Happy New Year. We'll see you on the flip side. This has been so fun.
hell yeah, man.
And
Hell yeah.
really
Yeah, man.
appreciate you guys taking time. And love to the fams. And we'll see you next year.
All right, take
man.
care, guys. Peace.
Take care.
Peace.
Peace.
See you guys.
Hey there. Thanks for tuning in. Please be sure to like this episode, write a review, and share with your friends on social. And if you haven't already done so, please press the subscribe button and follow us on Instagram at Not Real Art World. If you're an artist, be sure to apply for our 2021 artist grant at notrealart.com. Sourdough out.